COVID is a terrible thing, but it did something. It dislocated certain asset classes, specifically hotels.
What are your thoughts on the marketplace right now? Where are you finding deals? You're in New York. It seems to be this flight to Florida or this flight to different states. How real is that perception that the media is, we're thinking about? Do you feel like there's a big, migration going on? And if so, how's that going to affect real estate in New York? And where are you investing today right now that you like?
So, Brad, great question. We're investing where the way to think about our funds, we're funds of funds. So we have relationship with best of the breed sponsors and operators around the country. We don't invest necessarily only in New York. We invest some in New York. We actually like distressed commercial debt. It's a safe way to invest. It's like I call it buying an option on a property. You buy a distressed note, you try to foreclose. Realistic case scenario, you'll get paid off. If you ever actually take it to the auctions, you'll make it like a bandit. So, but that aside, we invest the hottest trend right now we see. It's a COVID-created opportunity. COVID is a terrible thing, but it did something. It dislocated certain asset classes, specifically hotels. So we've been investing in the hotel conversions to affordable multifamily housing. So the trend was there pre-COVID. It's not a brand new idea. It's been around, but COVID has sort of accelerated this. So we just had a deal exiting. We invested 21 months ago. We got 73% IRR on a conversion. It was like a super home run. I mean, I'm not saying every deal is like this, but we got 2.2 multiple on the investment in 21 months. And the new deals we've been doing, there's actually two flavors of this trend. One is you take extended stay hotels, just from a basic standpoint. If they are not doing well, they look like apartments. Literally, they look like apartments, residence in. And you convert them to multifamily, and many of them are zoned naturally for multifamily housing. So these projects have pretty good 2-3 year kind of renovate, reposition, refi, or sell type of strategy. So we love these projects. They have generally pretty good economics with target returns. IRR in the low to mid 20s conservatively. Of course, there's risk. Everything has risk. So this is a trend that they don't need to be in big metropolitan cities. They could be smaller MSAs. We've done a deal in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, South Bend, Indiana. We had a deal in Mesa, Arizona, and so on. So we like that trend as a COVID opportunity. We've also invested recently in some office conversions to multifamily, yet another post-COVID victim, unfortunately. So some of these office buildings, they're just not going to have the tenants for quite a while. If they're well positioned in a good location, it's a little bit heavier lifting, more work, but they present pretty interesting opportunity to be repositioned into housing. So these are some of the recent trends. And then, as I mentioned, some of the very opportunistic investing, not again linked to a Florida itself. Yeah, the Florida is generally pretty hot for obvious reasons. No state income tax, right? Pretty basic. New York, unfortunately, again, I don't want to take political positions, but I grew up in the former Soviet Union, and I have to say that this socialistic system just doesn't work. Socialism, unfortunately, doesn't work. In New York State, too much resembles a little bit too much of the socialism. So I have to say, being a political refugee from socialist and communist system doesn't work. When you try to take everything people have, tax them, repress them, it doesn't work. People just not happy. But I do believe the Big Apple will come back. The Big Apple will come back when we're when we achieve sort of herd immunity, and the Broadway reopens, and the theaters reopen, and everything else reopens, people will come back. So I would not write down New York. In fact, New York, I believe, will come back strongly. The fact that there is, high tax has been here. People lived here in New York because it's a great city. So the move to Florida does have value, and the climate is better, and no state tax, and too many people retire from New York to Florida. But it's still a great city. I think New York will be there to stay for a long time.
Excellent, Mike. And by the way, you can learn more about Mike Zlotnik at tempofunding.com, and or just go to bigmikefund.com, bigmikefund.com. Mike,
Let me make a one quick comment and a quick
sure.
joke. Sorry, I want to spice them up. These discussions are
Yeah.
too technical. So when I tell people go to bigmikefund.com, sometimes people hear it, go to bigmikefund.com. I forget the D. I promise it's not a kinky site.
Got it. Yeah, yeah. Make sure. Yeah, be careful. You don't know. You don't know what you're searching for. Big Mike Fund with a D, like funding. Excellent. Thank you, Mike.